Am I having a heart attack? Seriously, do I have cancer? Am I dying? Hey everyone, welcome back to another Tuesday Backstory. This will be the final in this series, but if you guys have any questions, I'll make more and follow-ups later. So this week we're going to talk about something rather heavy, something I feel passionate about now that I'm working through it. You guys know that I like to share my stories and my experiences with you guys and vice versa, so we can get to know each other and so we don't feel alone. So today's a heavy one. I've spoke before about some of the things that caused my anxiety to come up and to kind of escalate. Now keep in mind, I never knew that I had anxiety up until recently, right? I thought the life I had was normal, and it wasn't. It was far from normal. You don't really know what normal is until you feel what normal is not. I seriously thought at times when I was laying in bed, am I dying? I would pray to God that he would take this from me, or I would just want to fall asleep and wake up and it all be better again. I wasn't dying. I wasn't even close to dying, but in my head I was. What's in our head overrides our entire body and our entire self. Listen, would you do something for me? I've created this video to help others. Please share it. Here we go.
After I got married, like I said, we quickly moved to England, and marriage has been challenging. I'm not gonna lie, it has been. It's been rewarding ultimately, but challenging. A lot of that had to do with my anxiety. And over the 11 years that we've been married, that anxiety just kept building and building inside, and I didn't really know what it was. It caused a lot of challenges for myself, for my wife to have to deal with. It kind of peaked a few years ago. You know, I mentioned about it made me sick. It was bad. Like, I could get a cold and I would be laying in bed praying to God that he would carry me through this because I think I'm dying, right? Well, I wasn't. It's just, it was in my head. You know, my expectations for things, for myself, for our family, were not realistic, and the anxiety just added to problems. Well, like I mentioned, that stuff made me sick, and so it got to the point a few years ago where it just kind of got more consistent. Maybe I was getting sick once a month, then it went to like once a week, and then it became like every day. Of course, I'm thinking inside my head, I'm dying. I don't know what's going on. There's something inside of me. Doctors can't figure it out, but there's something inside of me. Do I have cancer? And we're sitting at one of the horse races at Retama, and I start getting real sick. And I'm like, honey, I think I just want to go to the ER. So we went into the ER and they ran tests, and you know, I'm thinking it's my heart or something. You know, have I had a heart attack? In my head, I'm making up all these worst case scenarios, right? Which is just adding to my anxiety and making things worse. And in the end, after being in the ER for a while and running EKGs, they diagnosed me with general anxiety. I was kind of insulted. I've got something more than this. I'm supposed to be dying, right? I don't have general anxiety. Anxiety is just a joke, right? That's what I thought at the time. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I thought. And now I see how extremely far from the truth that was. So they wound up giving me some medication, Cymbalta. If you've ever experienced this kind of medication, they recommend you start in small doses and they kind of build it up so it builds up in your system, this particular medicine. So I started taking it and I checked back, and then we increased it until we got to the amount that the doctor thought was going to be about right. She was like, well, how are you feeling? And I'm like, well, I'm feeling great. So things just started to get better and better and better. There was things that I would worry about, dumb things, right? I would worry about, and now they just didn't bother me. I could look at it and be like, oh, yeah, whatever, it's gonna be fine. Whereas before, I was like, I've got to take care of that, or I've got to fix that, or it's a problem. And now it's not. When I would get sick, you know, like I said, I felt like I was dying. I started to feel again like I wasn't dying when I'd get sick, and I didn't hardly get sick anymore, which is incredible. The body's an amazing thing. But yeah, I wouldn't hardly get sick anymore. But when I did, I could go on and function. Before, I was bedridden. I'd be like, oh, I'm dying. I gotta lay here until I get better, because that's gonna get me better the fastest, and I want to get through this. Well, now I get sick, I can still function. I can still go do stuff. And so it starts opening my eyes to that anxiety is a big effing thing, right? The doctor's like, well, how you feeling? And I'm like, I'm feeling great. I wonder if I take some more, will I feel even better? And so we upped it. I felt even better. So we finally got to a point where I was feeling really good. I mean, I'm happy. I'm not saying there's not problems in my life. There are, but they're not a big deal to me. Being on this medication has enabled me to see things more clearly, the way that they should be. And especially it's brought me closer to the way I believe God wants us to live. I'm able to not worry about the little things anymore. I'm able to see things as, don't worry about tomorrow. Let's focus on today. I'm able to love more, be with my family, and not have these feelings of worry and whatnot. Again, not saying I don't have problems. The thing is, those problems don't bother me. If they need addressed, I'm fine with addressing them, but they're not the end of the day, because that's not what's important anymore. What's important is the love that God's given us to share with each other, living a fruitful life, loving one another, sharing our stories and sharing our burdens, encouraging others. Those are the things that are important. And now I can focus on those and not have everything else weigh me down. So if you guys have, anybody out there has anxiety or depression or something similar, don't be afraid to talk to me about it. Talk to somebody else about it. Talk to anybody. Go get help. Medication helped tremendously for me. I'm not saying medication is for everyone, but it was definitely for me. I went through some therapy with my wife and I, because we were going through some hard times, and it helped, but it took a lot of therapy, whereas medication was not instant, but it was really quick, and that's what I needed ultimately, was medication. What I thought was normal was not normal. I went nearly my entire life up to this point thinking having anxiety was normal, and I didn't know that it wasn't normal until I started getting on medication and feeling what normal really felt like the things that would always bother me shouldn't bother me. So don't be afraid of seeing a therapist or getting on medication. Mental health is a serious thing, and living with it unknowingly is worse than actually knowing that you have it and being treated with it. Please seek help. I'm here. I know counselors are there. Talk to your doctor, talk to anybody. Message me and I'll share my experience. I'll try to help you walk through it, but it's no joke. Everybody probably needs a little of something, and if that's you, I encourage you to seek help. I love you as a brother, as a sister in Christ. If I can help in any way, let me know. Reach out to me, text me, message me, whatever. Love you. Peace. So this is me. This is my current story. I'm glad you have it now. If you have any other questions, I am an open book. I will answer anything that you ask me. I'm here to help. I've been through a lot. I haven't been through everything, but if I have, I'll be glad to help you to get you where you want to go if it's in a similar position that I'm in. So let me know. Shoot me your question, message me below, or send me a personal message. Whatever you want to do, I'm here for you. Peace.
I seriously thought that anxiety was a joke until I had it. So please don't speak negatively about anything until you've been through it. People are not capable of intelligently speaking on something until they've actually been through it. Mental health is a serious thing. I learned this through my own mistakes. I thought anxiety was a joke. It was not. It was far from a joke. Anxiety is huge. It's crippling. It's like carrying weights around your entire life that disable you from doing regular, normal activities in life. Not cool. Not cool at all. This is the end of the first series in my backstories. If you guys want to hear more, please comment below. Let me know. Also, if you haven't seen the whole series, please feel free to go to my YouTube channel and watch the playlist that I've created with all of the backstories into one playlist. This has been a rough journey, knowing that something isn't right inside of me, not having any idea what it was, and every time I would go to the doctor and they would find nothing wrong, I know there's something wrong. We did all sorts of stuff to try to figure out what's going on and couldn't find it until that one day in the ER. Like I said, I had been through couples therapy, but it took a lot and honestly didn't help tremendously. Recently, I've started going to solo therapy, our personal therapy where it's just me and a therapist. Now, this has helped tremendously. And what's incredible is the fact that now I'm on Cymbalta and my anxiety has decreased significantly. Now I'm able to deal with those things that I wasn't able to deal with before. Because what would happen is my anxiety would boil up talking about these things and thinking about them, but I wasn't able to address them. Also, being on Cymbalta has enabled me to see things differently in a better way. I'm not distracted by the things that don't matter anymore, if that makes sense. I can see things better for the way that they actually were, the way that God created them, instead of being distracted by my anxiety all the time. It's incredible. So if you or someone you know has any of these feelings like I've described, please seek help. You can be happier. They can be happier. Now, on a side note, I would not be where I am now had I not been through all the things that I talked about prior to this video in my backstories. Those things shaped and created who I am. Whether they were hard, whether they were wrong, whether they were right, whether I saw it a certain way or I saw it a different way, that has created who I am. I can't change my past. I can only change my future. Now that I have the tools and the know-how to move forward, things are getting better. If you know somebody that has similar issues, love them, number one. Number two, let them know that they are loved no matter what. One day you'll have something and you need somebody to walk along with you also. And believe me, love and acceptance is the best path to go down. Let's stick together. Let's make this playground we call life a rockin', lovin' place. I love you guys. Till next time, Jeremy Drummer, out!
share.